70 to 80 million in loans settled year to date.
Thank you very much for coming out this evening. Thank you. You're fuck too kind.
Yo, what up fam? Andrew Taylor here, and today we have a special guest for you by the name of Dan Liao. Now, if you don't know who Dan Liao is, Dan is creating waves inside the mortgage industry, but he isn't just any other broker. Now, this dude is a legend. He's writing tens of millions in loans every single year, but not only is that, he's helping people just like you get into their dream home. But here's the kicker, Dan's journey didn't come easy. We're gonna go behind the scenes on exactly how Dan was able to dominate his field. We're gonna get the unfiltered story, how he shifted his mindset, upped his game, and became the powerhouse that he is today. Dan's a living proof with the right energy and the right mindset. It doesn't matter what situation you're in, you can make it happen. So get ready to be inspired and learn what it truly takes to level up, not only in your life, but in your business. Let's get it. What's up, G? I'm here when you are. Sweet. Oh, this is it. This is it. See, we'll wait for him. Yeah, it's just gonna come down now. And how are you, bro?
See ya.
How you been?
Good one, really good.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dan Liao. All right, Dad, so for the people that don't know who you are you and what exactly do you do?
Awesome, man. So I am a owner of a mortgage brokering franchise, Mortgage Choice, located in Bowen Hills. I'm also a aspiring property developer.
Yeah, that's sick. And so what made you get into mortgage brokering? Because I remember back in the day, like if you guys don't know, my background's actually the fitness industry, and Dan used to come in and sit there and eat with us every single day. And I remember when you told us that you were going to get into it. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, man. So look, I'm a career banker.
Yep.
Right. I kind of fell into finance. Bit of a long story there, which we can probably get into a little bit later.
Yeah.
But I guess it was a natural progression for me to go into mortgage brokering just because it was something I really understood, something I was really good at, also something I was really passionate about. Right?
Yep.
Starting my own business was really anyway.
And was it like a massive risk that you had to take for yourself to go all in?
For sure.
Yeah.
Before I jumped, I guess, took the leap, right? I was in a very nice paying 6-figure banking job, which, you know, with bonuses was paying really, really well.
Yep.
Yeah. For me to start my business, I guess I sold a lot of I sold my watches.
Yeah, I've seen the new watch that you've got on right now.
Thanks, man. I sold my car, downgraded my car, sold quite a few assets just to kind of restart everything. And kind of took that leap of faith from going from a nice 6-figure income all the way down to, I guess, $0.
Yep.
Rebuilding myself.
Yeah, for sure. Now, like, I remember when Dan used to come into the gym, I remember he'd be sitting there and you were like questioning, like, is it the right thing? Like, should you be doing this? Like, should you be going all in? And now, what has it been, 3 years, 4 years?
About 4 years now, man, for sure.
Best thing that's ever happened?
Best thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, sick. Now, also just to add to that, like back in the day, I would be going to bed, right? And Dan would be getting to the gym. Like, you know, back in Instagram, like you check your stories. I was going to bed and Dan was scanning into the gym at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. So tell us about your routine, because honestly, I don't know anyone else that's got a routine like that.
Sure, man, sure. So yeah, my routine used to start at like 2:30 to 3 a.m.
Yep.
I'd say that was probably a little bit unhealthy.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys.
It was crazy.
Right now.
It was crazy.
You don't need to wake up at 2 a.m. and start training at 3 a.m. You don't need to do it. My current morning routine would look like waking up between 4 to 4:30 a.m., getting up, going to a cold bath, then doing some meditation, going into a sauna.
Because you do that all here, right?
I do it all in the building, man.
Can we go have a look?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's take a look.
This is what I have access to.
Walk us through, like, how does it, like, well, you just come straight and jump straight in this morning?
Yeah, man. So I come in my Livco swimmers.
Yeah, nice.
And I step right up here and I just go straight in here. So this is
that's cold. What is it?
The tent. That's the tent.
What is that?
9 degrees. 9 degrees, temperature controlled, and there's like little jets, so it oscillates water, so it's a lot colder.
Oh, true. So what, they all three of them are?
No, man. So this over here is a warm bath. I'll be honest, man. I don't really use this bath very often. Hey.
Yeah.
It's warm.
Yeah.
I like pain.
Yeah, see, that's crazy, because I'm on the other side. Like, if I'm in there for like 10 seconds, I'm having a panic attack and, all that type of stuff.
For sure.
So what made you start doing this stuff? Because obviously it's a big thing. It's a big thing all over social media at the moment. Everyone's doing the cold plunges and stuff like that. And why did you start it, and what benefits are you getting from it?
So, like, I was doing it before it was like a cool thing, right? I actually had an acquaintance introduced me into it, and I mainly started doing it for the physical benefits, right? Because you know me, I also train 5 to 7 days a week. And it was just a form of recovery at the beginning. And then I noticed all the benefits that I received mentally, right? the clarity I would receive, the level of like energy I would receive 3 to 4 hours after.
Yep.
It was just really good. Also, I found that if I had any headaches, man, I'd go straight there, bang, headache's gone.
Yeah, crazy.
No Panadol, no Nurofen, nothing like that, just cold water.
That's nuts. And how long would you, like, what is the longest that you've spent in it?
Honestly, man, I don't recommend it. I sat in there for about 20 minutes.
Oh, true.
Pretty sure I had hypothermia. I was cold for about 3 to 4 hours after. Like, shit.
That is nuts. I wasn't 20 seconds.
Yeah. On an average, like no matter what, normally, straight out of bed, straight in there is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like easy.
Yeah.
Easy, yeah.
So first thing, wake up in the morning, come downstairs, cold bath, and then what?
Yeah, so cold bath, and then I let myself kind of warm back up.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll sit in the infrared sauna and then I'll jump into the steam room.
Yeah,
So I'll
for
do
sure.
that for about 20 minutes, man.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Can you show us around the rest of your apartment and kind of like your morning routine? Because I know you're really big into breath work and all that type of stuff.
So, man, I actually do a lot of my breath work in the cold bath.
Oh, really?
I do, man. So when I first started doing this morning routine, I would kind of separate everything. I'd meditate first. As soon as I finished meditating, I'd come down, I'd jump in the cold bath. As soon as I finished the cold bath, I'd do some sauna or whatever, right? But now what I do is I wake up. So it's a little bit different now, guys. I wake up, I come down, I go straight into the steam room or the infrared and I meditate in there.
Yep.
As soon as I'm done with that, man, I come into the cold bath and I'll do my breath work within the cold bath.
Yep.
Then I finish up, get ready, change, go to the gym.
And so that's a non-negotiable. It doesn't matter what the day is, you come down.
There might be times if I'm like super sick,
Yep.
like I won't come down and like, you know, infest myself in all these, in the common area.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, this is one of the best buildings, I have to say. This is the gym. I'll show you guys the gym. I don't really use this gym, guys, because you can't load a barbell up and, you know, dump some weight.
Yeah, no.
We've got really cool, man. Like there's a little yoga studio here. Every Monday, man, someone that teaches yoga.
Yeah.
It's really cool if you want to get into yoga. Something I'm going to get into this year.
Do you know what's actually funny? That's on my cards. I've recently just signed up to another gym where I'm actually signed for the yoga classes on a Sunday just to
Bro, it's the best.
get into it.
The older I get, man, the more I think about like yin and yang.
Oh, 100%.
Balancing it out. I'm not going for strength. I'm going for just performance, but also throwing everything down. Yeah, man, it's really cool. We got dumbbells, man. They go up to 47.5 kilos.
47.5 kilos for
man.
apartment gym.
It's great. Turn to Wong is around that way. And if you go towards that way, that's South Bank.
Yeah.
So you can see the new casinos getting built over there.
Yeah.
Which will go around, man. There's nice.
Does this like living in an apartment like this, does this help inspire you to do more, be more, like having these types of facilities and having the types of people that probably live in here as well?
Yes and no, man.
Yeah.
Like, look, living in this type of a building really is just convenient.
Yeah.
It's convenient, right? I enjoy a good lifestyle. I work hard, so I like to have all the things that I like very close by, so I don't have to travel very far to have them, right? So I like to look after my health, so I like to have a cold bath here. I like to have a steam room here. I like to have gyms nearby. I like good coffee, so I like to have good coffee, cafes nearby. I like good steaks. I like good food, you know? And you know me, man, I don't drink.
Exactly. Let's actually talk about that. So I've known Dan for a number of years. You know, we've gone through, you know, the party scene. We've come to, you know, the spiritual scene. When did you give up alcohol and how has that changed you a lot?
Made my first commitment to stop drinking on the 7th of March, 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that, 3 and a bit years now?
Yeah, man, coming up to 4, man.
Yeah, nice.
4. The commitment really came because what happened? What was going on? A lot of stuff was happening, right? But drinking wasn't helping.
Yeah.
Drinking alcohol, going out, partying and doing all that type of stuff with a lot of, you know, people that I guess weren't really aligned with my values. Yeah. As well as at that time, man, COVID just happened. I just quit a nice 6-figure job. In banking, which I didn't have to worry about anything, right? Like I was going to get paid either way.
No matter what.
Everything was going to be fine.
Yeah.
I went from that to zero, still had all my commitments, my mortgages, my properties, my this, my that, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
No more car leases and stuff, obviously. But, you know, just basic living expenses, right? And I had to do something. I had to change. I had to give myself a little bit of an edge. And I thought to myself, where do I start?
Yeah.
That was the best place to start.
It's crazy because, like, especially when living here in Australia, the alcohol culture is huge. It's huge. If for someone not to drink, it's kind of like you're singled out. Like, people seem to make a mockery of you. Like, it's like, oh, you're not drinking, you're soft, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just the Australian culture that we live in. And how have you found that in your social settings, or you just simply don't care what people think?
Yeah, man. Look, it was definitely a transitional process, right? Like, when I first stopped. I was like, oh man, well, how do I navigate this field?
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, don't get me wrong. When I say I made my commitment the first time on the 7th of March, 2020, after about 12 to 15 months of that, I started to kind of have a wine again.
That's right. I do remember that. Yeah.
Just have that. It just wasn't very good.
Yep.
Alcohol doesn't agree with me. It makes me tired, makes me lethargic. It's and also, man, I'm one of those Asians. When I drink, I get like super red. And my heart rate goes up. So I assume that I'm just allergic to it.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, to go back and answer your question, it was very hard.
Yep.
Okay. I pretty much had to stop hanging out with the people that I hung out with.
Yep.
I had to not just change the whole, like, I don't drink, but also adjust my lifestyle completely.
Yep.
And identify as a person that no longer consumed alcohol at all.
Yep.
Yeah. That took a lot of practice, man.
And I think also for yourself is like when you're obviously as a mortgage broker, you're helping people get their dream property. So they feel happy, they feel excited. So they probably buy you gifts or you probably take them out for lunch and it's all a celebration. So everything around your work is a celebration. And sometimes it can probably be hard pulling yourself away from that.
Sure.
Like,
well, man, look, I think the one thing you have to understand is you can celebrate without alcohol.
exactly. Yep.
You can celebrate without going and doing the normal perception of what celebration looks like, right? So I redefined what celebration looked like to me. I made it so that all I did was just enjoy and be present in the moment.
Yeah, because that's the thing, because I stopped drinking, what was it, a good 12 to 18 months, I think it was, and it was like that first 6 to 12 months was a little bit difficult. You know, people tease you, and then it just became the new norm. It's like, no, he doesn't drink. Obviously, it's a different story now. Like, I do love a cheeky cocktail from time to time, but
for sure,
going back to that, how do you think the no alcohol has changed your mindset? Because obviously it's a big thing. Like we drink on the weekend, we feel foggy for, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then we're craving that drinking again Thursday, Friday. Like how has that helped you shift and, you know, grow as a person and a career?
This is the way I see it, right? You want to live a successful life.
Yep.
You need to ensure that you remove as many things as possible that slow you down.
Yep.
So it's kind of like get out of your own way. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, I had to sit there one day and say, what was more valuable to me? Yeah. Was it to celebrate, have fun and like cheers and, you know, have expensive alcohol with a bunch of guys?
Yep.
Or was it more important for me to honor my family, honor my father and mother's sacrifices and become the best version of me?
Yep.
So I looked at these two things and I went, well, this one definitely is much more important.
Yep.
And then the difference between this one and this one is discipline.
Yep. 100%.
Right? So it's like, do I choose to become the best version or do I choose to be like everyone else?
Yeah. 100%.
And I never wanted to be like everyone else, right? And it's not to say that I'm better. Definitely not.
Yep.
I'm not thinking that whatsoever. But what I do know is that there is something inside of me that feels different, sees differently, and wants to be more, right?
Yep.
Be more, have more, achieve more, and all these type of things. It's something that was ingrained into me at a very young age.
Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty much it, man.
It's crazy. Like to see Dan's transition over the last 2 or 3 years has just been nothing but mind blowing. Like the seeing what Dan is doing has really helped inspire me and actually helped me get on the path to where I am today. And I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for people like Dan. So like, I appreciate everything that you have done. Before we had Milton out there, we got South Bank over this side. What would we say, West End?
No. So kinda, yeah. So the river kind of curves around. There is West End here.
Yeah.
Definitely. You can see all the construction going up. So that's West Village just down here, over here. You see Soak?
Yep, okay.
Soak's down there, man. So yeah, this is West End, I guess. And I'll just show you guys, there's a little private dining room we have as well, man, which is great. That's like great for entertaining, great for when people want to come over. Come through.
So when you have friends, family over, you guys can come up here and...
Yeah, it's a great place, man. Like...
I see what you mean now, like having everything within like arm's reach. Because I actually listened to a podcast the other day and they were saying that you should always have everything within a 5 kilometer radius of where you live. Your work, your gym, your friends, everything along those lines. We've all got 24 hours in the day and we want to try and get as much time back as possible. And the last thing you want to be doing is spending an hour driving here, half an hour here, 40 minutes here when you've got it within arm's reach.
Well, for sure, man. So like it is definitely how I've designed it. It's by design. This isn't by accident. Right?
Yep.
The location I've chosen, my office space that I have, everything is within a 10-minute drive.
How good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Less time traveling, more time just doing the things that matter. And then...
Yeah, because that's the biggest thing is like I was actually speaking to my barber the other day and it's like, you know, people spend half an hour, 45 minutes driving to and from work every single day for 40 years, like at a job that they don't like. Like, do something you love, live in a place that you love, and have everything within arm's reach.
Look, man, don't get me wrong. I used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, and I truly, truly do believe there is a time and a place where you can do something like that because it allows you to build a level of character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like not everything is just supposed to be easy. Not everything is supposed to be within arm's reach, right? Sometimes it has to be a couple steps away. Sometimes you do have to take a drive. Sometimes you have to work for free. You have to learn things. And then sometimes you gotta take the L, right?
Yeah, especially in those initial stages.
100%, right? Like I speak to a lot of younger men these days, and I do coach a couple of these guys, and you know they're always talking about how hard things are at this current point in time, right?
Yeah,
for sure, 100%. Things are going to be difficult, especially when you start something that's completely new. Yeah, like you can't just jump in. It's not supposed to be easy. There's not one time in your life where you've done something new where you haven't been a little bit anxious, a little bit excited, and a little bit uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's just meant to be.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about it, because if you feel the discomfort when you start something new and then it becomes comfortable, you have just upskilled yourself. You have now become a better version of yourself, right? So like that's the best part about it, is seeing that progression or progress.
Yep, 100%. Because if everything was easy, you would never grow.
100%.
I got both the cars side by side.
Yeah, man. So
you got the black M4 and then the Merc as well.
Yeah, the GLC 63.
Hold on. Higher power, is that for how fast it's going to go?
No, man, no. I'll tell you about that when we get in the car. There's a bit more meaning to that.
We're not going to talk about financials here. Like that's obviously a pretty prominent thing, but like you help a lot of people get into their first home, buy multiple homes, investment properties and stuff like that. How much would you say that you're turning over, like writing per year in loans?
Man, look, let's go on year to date currently, right? So what are we, by the end of December, so from the start of financial year 24 till now, I've done 130 loans at about 59.1 million.
Crazy, 59.1 million.
Yep, and that's residential.
Is that like the biggest you've done, or have you done bigger before?
I would say that's the most I've done with the level of lifestyle that I have. So let me explain, right? So there was a time in my life where I worked literally 7 days a week, 12 to 15 hours every single day. And you saw me, right? Like I was waking up at, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., going to the gym, finishing the gym, training at, 4 a.m., then into the office, and then, just working a full 12-hour plus day, and then going home, sleeping, and then doing it all over again, right? At that time, I was writing quite well as well. The business was going very, very well. Although it was in its infant stages, it was still going very, very well,
But 7 days a week.
However, that was 7 days a week. These days, I would say I average hourly, like a week's work, maybe about, I'd say between 30 to 40 hours a week. Yeah. So I've been able to achieve these numbers and assist at that many people, so 130 people in 6 months, while only working, your 30 to 40 hour week.
Yeah.
So this is the best thing about it. What I've come to realize is I've been able to find a balance between looking after my mental health, my spiritual health, my physical health, while also being present in my relationship and also honoring my parents by seeing them on a weekly basis, and at the same time having my business and my finances running well, while also at the same time, man, starting multiple projects in relation to property development.
Okay, so you're getting to, so you obviously a mortgage broker, now you're getting into the property development scene.
Correct, man. So it's, I guess to me, it's a bit of a, I guess I love property, man. So it was natural for me to just go towards this. Let's go for a drive. I'll take you to one right now. At the moment, I do have multiple sites. But let's go to this one. Let's go to this one. It's really cool. It's one that I'm like holding quite close to my heart.
All right, so we're here at Dan's development site. So as he mentioned before, he is started to get into property development. So he's taken us out here to show us around. And is this your own private street?
Pretty much, man. Hey, so look, let's take a walk down. This is one of the sites, one of 4.
So you got 4 sites?
Yeah, I'm not the only person in the projects, right? So this one here is a JV, so a joint venture. And then the other 3 we're doing is obviously, it's with the family.
Yeah.
So essentially we pulled resources together, and I've just decided that if we're going to go towards development.
Yeah, nice. And so what made you get into doing property development? Like you mentioned earlier before about like real estate in general is just a massive thing for you. What's making you want to like venture into property development?
Man, look, it's always been something I've been interested in.
Yeah.
So like working with, I guess, mortgages and helping people buy properties since I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
Right? And then buying properties of my own, it was kind of like the natural progression.
Yeah. So what's going here? Let's show the people what we've got behind here. We've obviously got a skip then.
So look,
this
it's a bit of a mess at the moment, but we've pretty much cut everything out.
Yeah.
Over here. No, so this is lot 1 over here, and this is going to be lot 2 over here.
Okay, so 2 lots.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this is going to be 2 houses will be sitting on here. They're 400 square meter blocks each at this current point in time. I've got another 2 blocks up here.
Oh, that you're going to develop on as well?
Well, correct, man. So it's all subdivided already.
Yeah.
Good to go. But there's 2 blocks up here, which would be 900 square meters each. And behind us over here is the river. Obviously, if you guys look down there. So obviously, we've just started we're doing some work already.
Yeah.
Construction will most likely commence sometime next year. All of this right now, like, man, we've had a lot of rain lately, hey?
Yeah, so, for sure.
Because of all the rain, man, all the grass is growing out and everything. It looks a bit crazy.
So when are you expecting to finish this roughly?
Man, I reckon, so what we're doing is we'll be building 4-story homes.
Yeah.
Really, they're 3 stories with a basement.
Yeah.
They will most likely finish in about 2.5 to maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
I reckon the first house, which is the one I'm going to be living in for the time being, that one's going to be, I reckon, 2 years, man.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a custom build. It's very, very cool, man. It's my little baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So, man, if you want to stand here, this is the cool view that you get.
Yeah, nice. I'm excited for this journey of your life.
Yeah, man, it'll be really cool. So, because we're shooting this right now.
To see what it's going to be like in 2-3 years' time, come back and do it.
Let's come back, man.
And see the place. Yes, sick.
For sure.
So, Dan, tell me, we've obviously got the new watch. When did you pick that up?
I picked that up last night, man. Thanks for noticing.
That is dope. That is sick. What is it?
They call it the Golden Panda.
Yeah.
So it's a Carrera glass box, right? So it's a Tag Carrera glass box. It's a full gold watch. Tag got allocated 3 in Australia. This was the last one left. 2 were sold in New South Wales and Sydney, which is their biggest store. And there's only 1 in Queensland.
Oh, and you were able to pick them up? And
I've got the only one in Queensland, yeah.
Crazy.
And I know I'm wearing it today, but this is a very special watch. This will be, this is actually going to be my wedding watch.
Oh, really? That's right. For you guys that don't know, Dan's got a lovely partner by the name of Lily, who he proposed to. What was it, November last year?
August.
August last year, and getting married this year.
Correct, man.
Yeah,
yes. This year in November.
That is exciting. Congrats, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, Dan. So the Australian dream is for people to buy their own property. You've helped hundreds of people buy their properties every single year.
Yep.
What's the best way for someone to buy their first property, second property, or even their third property?
Man, that's a really great question.
Yeah.
And I think since COVID, or the COVID boom, that's completely changed, I guess, the strategy I would have provided 3 years ago or 4 years ago compared to now. Property prices have definitely increased to the point where, a lot of people are saying it's quite unreasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If you rewind 5 years or 10 years, it's definitely unreasonable, and it's definitely a lot higher than what it used to be. However, the way I'd approach it now is I do say to most of my first home buyers, if you are looking at purchasing a property and you do have a little bit of a deposit saved up, you definitely want to utilize the government schemes that are currently around. You definitely want to purchase something and treat it as if it is an investment property, right?
Okay.
So what I mean by that is buy it as an owner-occupied property, live in it for the 12 months, meet the government regulations and so on and so forth, but understand that this property will one day become an investment property. And that's the way I would approach it for your first property. And, with the people I'm currently helping, most of them, they can get into their first property with $29,000 saved. And they're good to go.
So 29,000 is realistically all you really need to kind of get into a first property, or it kind of depends on the property price?
For sure. Look, it depends on the property price. Everything is worked off percentages. But also understanding that your first property shouldn't have all the bells and whistles, right? It's not your dream home. It's just like you're buying a car. You don't buy your dream car or whatever. You buy something You understand that it's there for its time being. It's there to serve a purpose. You live in it for a short period, and then you rent it out and you make sure it's income producing. From there, what you'll find is as long as the property market continues to climb, which it has historically, if you go 30, 40 years back and so on and so forth, you can definitely see that property prices have continued to climb during this period. What then will happen is at least you have invested your cash into an asset that grows with inflation. Everyone knows this. If you have 50K in the bank this year, 50K in the bank next year is actually worth a lot less than the bank last year, and so on and so forth. Right? So at least getting those funds, investing it into something that actually grows with inflation, that will assist you into getting into your next property. So I do provide, I guess, general advice. This is not financial advice, guys. Please understand. Like some of my first home buyers, what I do suggest is, look, buy your first property. Understand that it is going to become an investment property. Live in it for the 12 months. Move back home if you can with your parents, and then rent that property out. Have that rental income, pay for that loan. And then also, while you're living at home with minimal expenses, you also pay into that loan as well.
Nice.
What will happen there is you accelerate the reduction of that loan balance, which then in turn will create equity, right? So you have one end, which the property price will go up because it will go up in value with the market. And then you'll also reduce your loan amount. That difference there is accessible equity for you to draw back out to then allow you to purchase your second investment property.
Nice.
Right? And if you stack these sufficiently, you'll be able to, grow to your first, second, or third, or fourth, right?
Sick. Nice.
And then when you go into that, man, there's many different types of structures that I would, obviously talk to you guys about. Or actually, people need to know about if they wish to grow a investment portfolio.
All right, Dan. So we've seen your apartment. We've seen your development sites. Let's know a little bit more about you, your upbringing, your childhood, and kind of where you got to where you are right now.
My parents were immigrants, came to this country, only had $1,000, worked 3 jobs. I wasn't even raised by my parents. I pretty much didn't really even see them. I actually didn't meet my father until I was 3 years old.
That's crazy.
We lived in like a 2-bedroom apartment, a flat. Stairs and stuff. I remember all of that. I remember my parents starting their own business, couldn't really speak any English, and then like cutting and mowing lawn on the weekend. I remember my mother mowing lawns while I was playing with, just hanging out with the kids at the house, mowing the lawns with. My mother lost her finger.
Oh, true?
Yeah, man, for $50. Like
for $50.
For $50, man. Not even $50, $20. Was cutting an acreage, right? Lost a finger, man. I was witnessing my parents go through so much pain just to make ends meet, and then being taken advantage of, all for the sake of just trying to get by.
What was that feeling when you met your parents realistically for the first time? Well, not the first time, but you've seen them after 3 years.
It was crazy, man. I still remember it to this day, right? I was anxious, I was excited. I remember talking to my father on the phone. He's saying, he's going to come and I'm going to finally meet him. Right? That moment in my life has literally been imprinted. My parents did the best they could with everything that they had and all the tools and resources that they had. I hold no resentment. I understand that was the best that they had at that time. Look, my upbringing wasn't bad. I think I could definitely say is it lacked guidance. And unfortunately, I think what happens there is you start to hang out with the wrong kids, and you start to, value things outside of what your family actually values because they're too busy working. I guess that kind of started my life in the direction where I guess it was very confusing.
For sure. So as we mentioned before, you're quite a spiritual person, and I wanna touch base on something here because we mentioned it before. Your number plate's high power, right?
Sure.
To people driving down the street, they're gonna see the car, the nice car, whatever, but then they're gonna see the number plate's higher power. They're gonna assume fast car, all that type of stuff. What does higher power mean to you?
Higher power, essentially, right? I've always had spirituality instilled in me from a young age from my mother. She always prayed. She's a Buddhist.
Nice.
Never really put religion on me. But it was something I kind of had around me as I grew up. Right? Coming back on the lack of guidance when I was growing up, I guess I never really practiced spirituality. I never really looked into it. I knew about it and I knew that it was a good thing and I knew that there was a God or a higher power of some sort. I guess I got these number plates to kind of remind me of my parents.
Nice.
As well, right? Also to understand that there's a power greater than myself. And that I can surrender my fears and surrender whatever feelings I have to my higher power. Understand that the universe has got me. I believe and truly believe that everything that happens for a reason, and it's always for you.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I believe my higher power or the God or universe or whatever you wish to call it, has put these specific things in my life or circumstances in my life to create the version that I am.
Yep.
This number plate reminds me of that.
Yep.
It also reminds me not to hold any resentment. Yeah.
Yep.
Because the truth is, if I truly believe that everything is for me and is meant to be for me, then I have to understand that everything that I deem as bad or negative was always there for me as well. You have people that have gone through, unfortunate circumstances or specific circumstances, and they always say, I wouldn't change it for the world, right?
Yep.
Reason why is because they wouldn't be the version they are now if it wasn't for those very specific circumstances. So understanding that part of it would then mean that I have to understand that everything that has happened, no matter positive or negative, has been there to guide me, to put me into the best place I can be.
I love that.
This is what that number plate represents.
Oh, so good. You heard that here first. Dan, appreciate it. Today has been great, showing us around your apartment, your upbringing, your development sites and everything that you're doing around here. So I appreciate you guys coming on here and sharing your story with us.
Cool, man.
Take care, man. And we'll definitely, we're going to do a part 2 when obviously the development sites start.
For sure, we will.
Done.
Definitely will.